Hello students, in this lecture we will discuss impact of jet on moving unsymmetrical curved vane when the jet strikes the vane tangentially at the tip of the vane, and that too in this we will discuss single moving unsymmetrical curved vane. Okay, force exerted by jet on a moving curved vane has four cases. The first two are already covered in last lecture. So in this we will cover the third one, jet striking on a single unsymmetrical moving curved vane tangentially at the tip. So this is a unsymmetrical curved vane. When we say it is unsymmetrical, these tangents at the inlet tip makes an angle theta with the x-axis, and another tangent at the outlet tip of a vane makes an angle phi. So it is a different angle phi with respect to the x-axis. Okay, x-axis is nothing but the direction of motion of the vane, right? So since these two tangents are making different angles theta and phi at the inlet tip and at the outlet tip, this vane is called unsymmetrical in construction. Unsymmetrical in construction about the x-axis. Okay, the jet of water is made to enter over the vane tangentially at one of the tip, and that tip is called inlet tip. Okay, so this is called inlet tip, where the jet of water enters tangentially like this. So this is the position of a nozzle. Okay, nozzle will produce the jet with absolute velocity v1, and the vane has initial velocity in this positive x direction. It is small u. The velocity of vane is small u. So this is the vector for small u. So thus the water jet will enter effectively on the vane with the relative velocity. So that is Vr. Okay, it will glide over the surface of the vane and the water will eject out tangentially at the outlet tip of the vane with the relative velocity Vr2. Okay, now let us see the construction. Figure shows a jet striking a moving unsymmetrical curved vane tangentially at one tip and leaving at the other. The effective velocity with which the jet strikes the vane is the relative velocity Vr1. This is very common, we know this. Whenever the jet and the vane both have the movements, both have velocities, then the relative velocity concept is important. The relative velocity Vr1 at the inlet may be obtained by drawing the velocity triangle at the inlet. So here comes a new concept for you in this unit number 1, that is velocity triangle at the inlet. The absolute velocity V2 at the exit may be obtained from the velocity triangle at the outlet as shown in the figure. So this is the velocity triangle at the outlet. This is velocity triangle at the inlet. Okay. Now first we try to understand what are the notations. Now let V1, capital V1 and capital V2 represent absolute velocities of the jet at the inlet and outlet of the vane respectively. Okay, V1, V2 are absolute velocities of the jet. Small u1 and u2 are the peripheral velocities of the vane at the inlet and at the outlet respectively. So u1, u2 are the velocities of the vane at inlet outlet. VR1, VR2 are relative velocities of the jet at the inlet and outlet respectively. VF1, VF2 are defined as velocities of the flow of the jet at the inlet and outlet of a vane. VW1, VW2 are defined as velocities of the whirl of the jet at the inlet and outlet respectively. Further, theta and phi are defined as tip angles of the vane at the inlet and outlet respectively. Why these are called as tip angles, theta and phi? Because the tangent at the inlet tip of a vane makes an angle theta. So that's why it is called inlet tip angle, theta. The tangent at the outlet tip of a vane makes an angle phi. So phi is known as outlet vane angle. Okay. Alpha and beta are the angles made by absolute velocities at the inlet and outlet. So there are two absolute velocities, V1 and V2, right? So these V1 and V2 absolute velocities, they make an angle alpha and beta at inlet and outlet with respect to direction of motion of the vane. So vane is moving in the positive x direction. So this is the direction of motion. So V1 is the absolute velocity of water jet at the inlet, and this is inclined. This makes an angle alpha with direction of motion of the vane. V2 is the absolute velocity of the jet at the outlet of the vane, and this also makes an angle beta with the direction of motion. So this represents the direction of motion of the vane. VR1 is the relative velocity of the jet with respect to vane at the inlet. VR2 is relative velocity of the jet with respect to vane at the outlet. Okay. U1 is defined as peripheral velocity of vane at the inlet. So means it is the linear velocity or peripheral velocity of the tip of the vane at the inlet. Now since this vane is moving in a linear direction, so therefore I am calling it as a linear velocity, U1. Okay. U2 represent peripheral velocity of the outlet tip of the vane. Okay. So the absolute velocity of jet is V1, the vane velocity at inlet is U1. That's why the water will actually enter over the vane with the relative velocity VR1, and that's why VR1 is shown tangential to the vane at the inlet tip. So VR1 is nothing but the extension of this tangent line. Okay. Water should enter over the vane smoothly. It means it should enter over the vane tangentially. Similarly, the water should exit out the vane smoothly, means tangentially. That's why VR2 is shown tangential to the vane at the outlet tip. Okay, it is extension of this tangent at the outlet tip, right? Further, Vf1 is defined as velocity of flow. Here we have velocity of flow Vf1, and Vf2 is defined as velocity of flow at the outlet. Okay, so Vf1 is nothing but component of V1. You can see it is a component of V1 as a Vf1, and it is perpendicular to direction of motion of the vane. So Vf1 is nothing but V1 sine alpha. Similarly, Vf2 is nothing but velocity of flow at the outlet, and it is the component of V2 as a velocity of flow at outlet, and it is perpendicular to direction of motion of the vane, right? So Vf2 is nothing but V2 sine of beta. Okay. Similarly, Vw1 is defined. Vw1 is nothing but the velocity of whirl of the jet at the inlet, and it is component of V1 in the direction of motion of the vane. So like this. So VW1 is nothing but V1 cos of alpha. Similarly, VW2 is a component of V2 in a direction parallel to the direction of motion of the vane, and it is known as whirl component at outlet, that is VW2. Okay. Alpha and beta are the vane angles, angles made by V1 and V2. Further, what we note is all the angles are measured with respect to the direction of motion of the vane, that is x direction. The velocity of whirl VW is the component of the absolute velocity in the direction of motion of the vane. Just now we have seen. Velocity of flow Vf is the component of absolute velocity normal to the direction of motion of the vane. So Vf component is normal, Vw component is tangential. The triangles ABD and B'C''D' are called as inlet and outlet velocity triangles. Okay, so ABD is inlet velocity triangle. So let us see the construction of inlet velocity triangle, also known as IVT. So here this is a IVT, inlet velocity triangle. So first what you have to do, take any point A and draw a line AB that is equal to V1 in magnitude. So you have to draw AB line with the length as V1 magnitude and making an angle alpha with the horizontal line AD. So this angle is alpha for V1. Draw a line AC that is equal to U1 and join C to B. So CB represents the relative velocity VR1 of the jet at inlet. So you have to join this C with B. First you draw AC line that is equal to U1 and then join C point with B point, that gives you relative velocity VR1 at the inlet. Okay. If the loss of energy at inlet due to impact of jet is negligible, is 0, then CB must be tangential to the vane at inlet. VR1 should be tangential to the vane. Point from B, draw a perpendicular BD meeting the horizontal line AC extended produced at D. So from B we drop a perpendicular at D point. Then BD represents the velocity of flow at inlet, that is Vf1. Okay, normal to the direction of motion. AD represents the velocity of whirl of the jet at inlet. So this is AD, velocity of whirl VW1 at inlet. Angle BCD is nothing but vane angle at inlet. So BCD is a vane angle at the inlet. This completes IVT, inlet velocity triangle. Similarly, construction of OVT, outlet velocity triangle. If the vane surface is assumed smooth, then the energy loss due to friction will be negligible, will be almost 0, and thus VR1 equal to VR2, and VR2 will be tangential to the vane at the outlet, right? So as I said, VR2 is always tangential to the vane at the outlet, VR2 relative velocity at outlet, and if the friction over the vane is neglected, then VR2 is equal to VR1 in magnitude. Now what you have to do here, draw B''C' in the tangential direction of the vane at outlet. So this is tangent B''C' as it is equal to VR2. Okay. Then from C dash, draw a line C dash A dash in the direction of vane motion at outlet and equal to U2. So from C dash, draw A dash, C dash A dash line equal to the magnitude U2 velocity of the vane at outlet. Then join B dash A dash so that B dash A dash represents the absolute velocity of the jet at outlet, that is V2. So join this B dash with A dash. So B dash C dash is relative velocity at outlet VR2. C dash A dash is vane velocity at outlet U2. So join this B dash with A dash, that gives you absolute velocity of the jet at outlet, that is V2 in magnitude and direction. From B dash, drop a perpendicular B dash D dash to meet the line C dash A dash produced at T dash. Okay. Then B dash D dash and A dash D dash represent the velocity of flow Vf2 and velocity of wall Vw2 at outlet respectively. Right. Phi is angle of vane at outlet, beta is the angle made by V2 with the direction of motion of vane at outlet. If the vane is smooth, then Vr1 is equal to Vr2, and if it is having velocity in the direction of motion at inlet and outlet, then it is equal due to linear motion in x direction, that is u1 is equal to u2 is equal to u, velocity in the direction of motion of vane. Okay, u1 equal to u2 equal to u. This is possible only when the vane has linear motion and not a circular motion like a wheel. Okay, now the mass of water striking the vane per second is calculated with relative velocity. So that is equal to mass of water per second rho A into Vr1, because it is a case of a single moving vane. That's why the velocity is relative velocity for single moving vane. So rho A Vr1 as a mass flow rate. Force exerted in the direction of motion, that is x direction, Fx is equal to mass of water flow per second into initial velocity with which the jet strikes in the direction of motion, that is x direction, minus final velocity of jet in the direction of motion, that is x direction. So mass flow rate is rho A Vr1, initial velocity in the direction of jet in the direction of motion of the vane. So initial velocity is Vr1 cos of theta. Okay, please note this is Vr1 cos of theta, because Vr1 is the effective velocity, the relative velocity with which the jet is going to enter over the vane. So the component of Vr1 in the direction of motion of the vane, so that is x axis, so that is Vr1 cos theta. Similarly, final velocity of jet in the direction of motion, that is x direction. So component of Vr2 at the outlet in x direction is Vr2 cos phi, if you see the outlet velocity triangle with the negative sign. Why negative sign? Because Vr2 is in negative x direction. Okay, component of Vr2 is in negative x direction. Further, but Vr1 cos theta is equal to Vw1 minus u1. Here you can see Vr1 cos theta. So this is a Vr1. Vr1 cos theta is this distance, CD distance. So CD distance is nothing but total AD distance minus AC distance. So it is Vw1 minus u1. So Vr1 cos theta is Vw1 minus u1. Similarly, Vr2 cos phi is equal to u2 plus Vw2 from outlet velocity triangle. Vr2, this is Vr2 cos phi, is C dash D dash. This is equal to u2 distance plus Vw2. Okay. So total C dash D dash. So substitute here Fx equal to this formula, then minus minus becomes plus. Further u1 and u2 gets cancelled because u1 is equal to u2 for a linear motion of the vane. So you will get the formula of force as Fx is equal to rho a Vr1 into Vw1 plus Vw2. Okay. So force exerted by jet on moving unsymmetrical curved vane with tangential entry, that to single vane. Fx is equal to rho a Vr1, this is a mass flow rate, into bracket Vw1 plus Vw2. Okay. Above equation is applicable, is true only when beta is less than 90 degree or beta is an acute angle. So as shown in the OVT, beta is less than 90 degree. So that's why we have positive sign here in the formula between Vw1, Vw2. Okay. Second case is if beta is more than 90 degree, that is Vw2 becomes 0. Sorry, if beta is equal to 90 degree, the Vw2 component becomes 0. So equation 1 reduces to Fx is equal to mass flow rate rho a Vr1 into Vw1. Okay. This you will understand by observing OVT. If beta is equal to 90 degree, if this becomes 90 degree, it means Vw2 becomes 0, right? If case number 3, if beta is an obtuse angle, if beta is more than 90 degree, then what happens? There will be a negative sign in the expression of a force. So here we have negative sign. So that is Fx is equal to rho a Vr1 as the mass flow rate into bracket Vw1 minus Vw2. Thus the general expression for force Fx is Fx is equal to rho a Vr1 into Vw1 plus minus Vw2. The sign in this formula depends on the value of beta, not necessarily the value, but whether it is comparatively with 90 degree, whether it is less than, whether it is equal to or more than 90 degree. Next is work done per second by the jet on the vane. It is the product of force exerted into velocity of the vane. So Fx into u gives you work done per second on the vane. Then next parameter is work done per second per unit weight of fluid striking the vane per second. Now this is a new concept, slightly new concept. It is a ratio of work done per second. This is the numerator, work done per second, divided by weight of the fluid striking on the vane per second. So weight of the fluid striking is nothing but mass flow rate into gravitational acceleration. Mass flow rate is nothing but rho a Vr1 into acceleration due to gravity g, m into g. So m dot into g is the weight of the fluid striking. So divide this rate of work done divided by weight. So cancel rho a Vr1. So formula is 1 by g into bracket Vw1 plus minus Vw2 into u. The unit of this term is Newton meter per Newton as a work done per unit weight. Newton meter per Newton is the unit. Finally, the last term is efficiency of the jet. So efficiency of the jet in a given system is the ratio of output to the input. Output is nothing but rate of work done on the vane divided by input is kinetic energy supplied by the jet. Okay. So kinetic energy is 1 by 2 m dot v1 square, and in a formula of kinetic energy mass flow rate is always rho a v1 and not rho a vr1. Please note this. Kinetic energy is always calculated at the outlet of the nozzle. So that will be absolute velocity v1. So rho a cancels over here. The formula of efficiency is eta equal to 2 times VR1 into bracket VW1 plus minus VW2 into U divided by V1 cube. Okay. Thank you.